Okay, so this video might be a bit noisy because we got a lot of wind that we're working with, and then obviously the syrup pump is going. And so this is our second trip down to California, and what we're doing is doing a second round of pollen sub and syrup. Sorry, it's gonna get loud here for a little bit. And overall, bees are looking great. We also purchased this new syrup nozzle from Bradshaw Farms in Visalia, California. How is that new nozzle overall, would you say?
You'll have to bend over.
Yeah, you can actually save your back, which in this industry is definitely something you want to do. The other thing that we're doing as we're giving pollen sub is I'm marking hives that we're going to split here in a couple of weeks. Beginning of February 1st, February 2nd, I get new queens in, and we're going to take off splits. And just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at, so see, we mark it with an S on the top and on the box so we don't have to go searching for them. Maximizes our time. We're looking for the bees we're going to split. We are looking for just bees jam-packed into the in both deeps. And so when I'm putting in a pollen sub, which I'll show you how we do that in just a minute, how we set it up. Somebody noticed we have all of our feeders in the center so that it's efficient. You just pull the lids back and then you can go feed. Okay, so here's another one we marked for splitting. Full of bees on the top. Full of bees on the bottom. And so yeah, that's all. If it looks a little chaotic, that's just because we got all the lids ready for feeding. A word of caution, we haven't run into any problem with it today, which is great. Whenever there's a dearth and there's not a natural flow going on, these girls are patiently waiting for their feed. You can always run into the risk of robbing, and you know, I mean, really, it's a feeding frenzy, and just like any feeding frenzy in the wild, the bees can kind of get a bit unruly, and so you want to avoid it. So obviously what we're doing is, as soon as we're done feeding up filling up the feeders, we are going and closing the box. So we put the sub, and here's a idea too. You know, this is probably about 2.5–3 pounds of sub. Second time around. Somebody told me something, very successful beekeeper, and they said, you know, if you can save money on things that don't matter, like if it's sugar that you buy for 20 cents a pound is probably not going to be much different than sugar you can buy for 50 cents a pound. You know, you look at sugar that's been swept off the floor or whatever else that you can save money on. But when it comes to nutrition and mite treatments, there is absolutely no room for skimping. You will get out of your bees what you put into your bees, and if you don't get anything else out of this video, remember that you will get out of your bees what you put into your bees. And the biggest things to focus on is nutrition and mite treatments that work. I'll set up the little stand there and show you what the process is. And but yeah, that's all we're doing. So feeding syrup, giving pollen sub, and also marking hives that we're going to split when we come down the beginning of February. Hey, it is super windy, so I'll just show you what we're doing here. If it needs to be fed, we'll leave it open. If it's really heavy, we won't bother feeding. That's tilt, throw in the patty and assess. Overall, the beans are looking good. I wouldn't split any of these yet. I'll show you what these hives look like after I've done this pallet, so you can get an idea. This one probably can get split. Yeah, it'll probably be. Taking my marker and marking it with an S for split. So it's easy for us to find. And so here, I'm gonna give you a reference point. Here's an average hive. Got a good cluster. A little weaker. The bottom's looking good, so they just haven't built up into the top. This one's good. Good looking cluster. And then this one I marked for splitting is I'm expecting, because you have to this is another thing for those of you curious about going to four-way pallets, 4 hives per pallet. Suggestion: give yourself more room to work. Like that one there. That one you can tip the hives back a lot easier. This one's a pain in the butt. We've still got a few of these pallets kicking around, but they're a pain. Let's see if I can give you. Anyway, I mean it's crammed full of bees. So 3/4 of the room in those 2 deep boxes is full of bees. So we'll split that one. But anyway, so that's kind of what we're doing. And yeah, just like I said, a takeaway at all from this video: just you get out of your bees what you put into them. Don't skimp on the really important stuff. Catch you later.